This is for everybody who has already met their karmic soulmate, twin flame, soulmate. And for those of you who are still thinking, who is he? Who is she? Where can I find them? So before I start, I'm going to just explain to you the spread that I have developed for this occasion. So here are the significators that I'm using for this particular reading. Remember, significators mean that this is going to be the same for every sign. The reason why I'm choosing them, it's sort of like the category that I really want to find the answers to, as if you're in a bookstore and you find a book with this title. So let me explain to you the significators that I'm choosing. The first one is Luna. Luna is going to tell me about the darkness and everything that maybe still didn't surface, maybe things that you don't know, maybe things that you should know. Then we have Solar Deity. Solar Deity is going to tell us what you should know. Maybe there is like still somewhere lingering, maybe it is too bright for you, maybe it's too close to your eyes, but you're going to realize that maybe you know that. Then we have Reason. Many of us are asking, why? That's the hardest question as a therapist and as a reader to really answer. Why? Because we people, we don't really make too much sense when it comes to love. So we're going to try to answer it within this card. Then we have the card guidance. Let's see, because it's your mirror soul, what do you need to find out about this person? If you guys still didn't read my introduction to this series, please check somewhere in this corner before you proceed, because it's going to tell you really how and what I see it. I see it as a mirror, and that's why this is called Mirror Healing Series. Then we are getting to the Tower, and the Tower is going to tell us about what needs to break. It is like always a time that certain things cannot grow anymore, and maybe they cannot grow because they're not sustainable. Maybe, you know, we need to kind of change us. Maybe they need to change. Whatever it is, we're going to discover it in this category. And the Chariot, a lovely card with pushing it forward. Where do we go? Which turn do we take? And then let's check the significance of all of this. Two of Chalices. Is there a kiss that is going to happen? Or what at this point of time is karma telling us? So, guys, shall we start? Hello Scorpio, and welcome to your August-September Twin Flame series. So whether you already are having an eye on someone or expecting somebody else, let's see where your twin flame is right now and where are your energies. So the baseline, you have keep an open mind. It says your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Then you have a promise of very soon that is also asking of you to clearly decide what you want so it comes to you. That is very important because I'm actually reading this on a day of a partial solar eclipse, where we are kind of like able to put this intention. I'm really trying to, with having and putting as much energy as I can during this eclipse, to kind of like push it toward you and calling in your soulmate. It says your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. There is like this spectacular, almost like ritualistic, in sync kind of like feeling where we see only a picture, but I can totally feel the heartbeat, I can feel the rhythm, and I can feel the connection over here in this situation. The bottom of the deck is you, the Queen of Cups, a beautiful woman who basically here is sitting on the shore, I guess, of some kind of like
lake, and kind of like she kind of like has this fish in her fan, right? But look at her cup. Her cup is spectacular. Her cup is like something that is kind of like taking her in a completely different dimension. She also has this yin and yang symbol over here, right? And she has this trident of Shiva. So on her necklace she has the Star of David, which is basically Merkaba. It's connection with that universal love, right? So Queen of Cups, you guys are very similar to the Queen of Wands. That's sort of like some kind of like air of glamour. So she has complete confidence in her beauty and charm, right? There is like this feeling of, I don't have to be prettiest in the room, but I'm going to have the lure that is going to draw you to me. You know, sometimes we see photographs of the people and we go, what? And this person is, what? But then you see them live and you can totally feel that air of energy, right? So that's that kind of like charm. And you know what is kind of like really interesting here is that Star of David is representing to this, it's kind of corresponding to the sixth sphere of the tree of life, right? So, and that actually corresponds to the solar plexus, and it is really called beauty. And I think, I don't know if I was doing this daily readings for you, the weekly readings that I do on Saturdays, that beauty card also showed up. And this is like really talking about exuding I can't talk, that beauty. And the solar plexus is that center of confidence where kind of like we need to do that, right? Working on some kind of like really strong emotions. So just think of this person who basically has emotions as her filter, whether that is extreme joy or fear or anger or even sorrow, right? That actually can create those kind of like sensations. Because she's having that, the trident of Shiva and the yin yang, the star, right? That's kind of like it's presenting her. She's the one who is a diplomat. She is the one who is able to reconcile things, right? So she is, at the very least on the surface, all charm and hospitality, right? However, she also has the underlying kind of like deep waters, and those motives are sometimes to gain social position or money, or to really accomplish, and this is definitely speaking to you, a grand seduction. So yeah, you might meet Queen of Cups and she's going to be this sweet, beautiful companion. Like in no time you're going to be enchanted with his kindness and grace and ability, but before you know, you're going to be full in love. So guys, this water, look at the water at the bottom of your deck, is really coming through. It's going to be a lots of connection to this eclipse and even more connection to the moon phases. So pay a really close attention because the energy here is really at play. So let me tell you what is really hidden over here. Oh, you have a Prince of Cups. This is really amazing. So something that is hidden, look, the message of concern, and then you have this Prince of Cups. Prince of Cups is like a Knight of Cups, I think in this deck, or actually it could be also King of Cups. No, I think King of Cups has a different pace. So this is definitely a Knight, and that's somebody who is very intense, somebody who could be like very noble or have really kind of like fine behavior about them. And this definitely, a Knight of Cups would symbolize Scorpio as well. So this could be very much you refining yourself, flowing through with something. Maybe there is like something heading your way, especially though if you're dealing with Sagittarians, because this message of concern is something that might relate to marriage or something that might strike really suddenly. There is like some hidden motivation in the others that you really want to see. You kind of like really want to see the elements that would actually link you to this person. It's kind of like more than, yeah, Queen of Cups, sure, she can be noble and kind and everything, but you know, just because you're a nice person, it's not definitely meaning that you're going to be the partner basically of hers, right? So the Prince of Cups also can be very much prone to decadence because Scorpio rules the genitals, right? And sexuality in itself is not vicious. It is basically the sex that takes us to this like really, really heights of human love and to the depths of human exploration. And you basically are the master over there. So it's kind of like really interesting that he has this Kundalini, that snake. I don't know, I'm wondering, the more I'm looking at that, because nothing really looks necessarily weird. But why in the world is this happening here in the category that is hidden? Can you see here behind him, next to his chin, we actually see the boat in the background. And it's kind of propelled by Anubis, which is the Egyptian deity, who actually brings the souls of the dead to the hall of judgment. You know, usually some cultures associate sexual activity with death because in the male physique, orgasm brings the death of the penis and then urge to sleep. So hence, something like this is happening. I'm wondering if, and I'll call it what I feel, I'm wondering if you're here with somebody who maybe has amazing sexual connection with you, or you have the amazing sexual connection with, but you kind of like really wanted to bring it outside, because this is more like that intensity. This is more like, look, I'm looking at you and I am making love to you. So there is like the essence of expressing some kind of concerns. This is unknown to you. Maybe you are with a partner who kind of like maybe is really happy with everything that has been so far accomplished, but maybe doesn't want to take this to the next level. And this is kind of like, look, they're interlacing, they're like dancing together. There's also the dance also kind of like remind me of sex, right? Because you, if you're a good dancer, you're going to be really good in bed. And I used to dance salsa, and it was like kind of like 100% true. And I really think here there is like something that is not released. So let me see what is released. There is like tumultuous nature over here, despair, and so is the Tower. So here is like this Eye of Ra, and look at this, not hiring. A side note, if you're actually dealing with somebody with whom you're actually working with, then maybe this person is devastating over something. You know, this person can be Aries or Scorpio, because that's what the Tower energy really talks about. And King of Swords could be Libra, right? As you can see, he wears this Libra as a badge of honor, or simply could be like sort of like that some kind of like balance in the situation needs to kind of like be done. So look at how well Tower is made over here. The Eye of God blasts the Tower, and so here we see that this basically fire in the top part, and the crown is falling. So pride has lifted the Tower to reach the heavens, kind of a thing, right? So Tower is a symbol of a status quo. So maybe you have been reaching and flowing and having this connection with somebody, but it's not kind of developing further. And there is like some kind of like security feel about the lifestyle, that certain things will just simply need to be opened. And there is this sense of somebody having some dogma or blocking things off, or arrogance, and that really nothing but really shaking them up can help, you know. So this kind of like lighting, and it can actually indicate this exposure that kind of like can take form of a very uncomfortable glimpse into possibly our own complacency. You have to ask yourself if you kind of like want to do certain things, because there is like obviously somebody over here, but you have to ask yourself if you're building like those basically towers, house of cards, right? This is like this thinking really process that it's basically taking up some already established patterns to a next level. And it's telling you, well, you know, certain things have to be rebuilt, certain things have to be done properly. We need to go through this repair, we need to remove intolerance, we need to kind of like remove this arrogance. So I don't know, it maybe feels that somebody has been left out, in a worry that maybe somebody is expressing their feelings of being kind of like forgotten, and maybe this is going to come up as a bolt to you, which kind of like it was not your perception. Maybe you're going to feel guilty about that, or it could be vice versa. So let me see certain reasonings in this situation. And you have another king. Lucky you, Scorpio, you get to freaking choose. And then again you have the Temperance, and I keep seeing Sagittarians over here, but this is reversed, and it's again with a message over here. So I don't know, this is the married kind, King of Pentacles, man or woman. It's somebody who wants to marry. This, I think it's you, but something is talking about not being the right time, not being the right place, not being sort of like completely in sync where things are going. It basically talks about that maybe you are with a person who is not willing to go to this next stage. When you guys start dating people, you kind of like just scratch the surface, you know when you get a scratch ticket, right? You just kind of like go around the edges, and only toward the end you kind of like go all the way. But if people don't want to go all the way with you, to you, that is like that death, that is a transformation. You want somebody who really wants to go all the way in. And here it has that Gemini Sagittarian tangent where it's a lots of communication, but it's kind of like not resulting. Message of concern, message, despair. But you also have a choice of partners over here, quite a few of them. You are going to be too hot to trot, right? But all of these partners are somehow twin flames, are these karmic soulmates. There is like something of an essence that actually has to be learned in a situation. So let's check this guidance. And you have 9 of Pentacles and 10 of Wands and community. Interesting, because this 9 of Pentacles, to me, it's all about a community. It's some kind of like setup. You know, be very careful that you are not walking into something. This is our perception of what the life should be. Look, I have everything. Like I have the bird, I have this beautiful dress. But look at how she's having the shoulders up. It doesn't look like this is relaxed pose. It looks very posed. She is not looking into our eyes. So there is like something oddly off. Oddly kind of like trap. Be very careful not to trap yourself in a situation or in a group of people that maybe are not the most beneficial or productive for you. And I think this is why this tower is going to happen. Something certainly will happen that might completely take you off your regular course. It could be also jealousy, guys, because it's both Scorpio and Aries and can be very, very flammable situation over here. But this is now definitely a guidance for you. And this guidance is saying that you, some of you are having this direction of, hey, you know, I know where I'm going. I know how I want to head there, right? But then this 10 of Wands is basically the card of secrets. And which side likes secrets? Well, you are one of them, right? It's something that needs to be kind of like addressed. Maybe there are a couple of people over here. Maybe you are the one who is secretive. Maybe you are the one who is not willing or even capable of addressing some kind of like situation, and hence you're just continuing with, you know, keeping up with the Joneses kind of the style, lifestyle. And this kind of like this community card is never a good one. Almost looks like to me a whole bunch of hillbillies, right? They are telling you how to live your life. I'm actually really surprised you didn't get religious factors card, which did come up for every single sign before yours. So 10 of Wands is basically, obviously, if you kind of like really look at it, showing like this kind of like image of disaster, and it's very much unlike the 10 of Wands in the other decks. So you even see this like wrecked buildings here in the background, and you cannot really make any mistake, and you can really say this is the picture of war. And of course you see the Saturn, which is also, you know, considered by many to be kind of like this baleful influence. It's kind of like visible through this whole bunch of clouds of smoke. So there is like some figure over here that is trapped by these kind of like wands, that maybe is a victim of his or her own passiveness, right? Or maybe it's somebody who is sacrificing his or her life for the cause. But I really think this is something that is a huge sacrifice that can be really, really weird. You know, Martin Luther King said, to ignore evil is to become an accomplice to it. So, you know, many people just don't do the right thing. You will see somebody collapsing on the street and you will just walk by them because of any of the reasons. Oh, I cannot deal with this right now, or this and that. The truth is, karma noticed. The truth is, you know, no sacrifice has been made. Not you guys. You kind of like are looking into making some kind of efforts. You kind of like battling against the odds right now. You're kind of stubborn. Hello, Scorpio, fixed sign, stubborn. Oh yeah, they are. So, but at the same time, you're having new expectations from life, new expectations from this person. And actually, the most importantly, you're having new expectations from yourself. So let's go really in the Tower. What's going to be a shocker this month? Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Distant horizons, the Magician, but Two of Cups reversed. Why? Maybe there is somebody that you have who is maybe long distance, or you distance yourself from somebody. Look at this like huge anchor, kind of like really looming it over it. It's almost like more important than this like beautiful imaginary ship flying through the air. So this is definitely talking about these expectations, right? Where the Magician is absolutely having that kind of light. This is more of a doer. It's not a person who has too much of consciousness. As you can see, there is like divine guidance just going through it. You have these tools, you'll get to use it. It's almost like when you put a coin in the machine and this kind of like stuff just like come through it. And there is like something that can be created. So why in the world are you creating the end? You're kind of creating the end. Or maybe you're thinking, you guys have a couple of choices this month. And one of these choices is going to feel, you're going to feel that you have to make a huge sacrifice. You have enormous pent-up sexual energy. You know what? Like some people just don't even can find one soulmate, one twin flame, one karmic things. And you have this bountiful over here, even kind of like loading this kind of like ship and coming your way. But this Two of Cups came reversed. So what kind of like would make you do that? Is somebody not on the same page with you? Is somebody not kind of like flowing in the same direction? There is like this essence of that you have a goal in mind. You know where you want to kind of head. You know that you want to put your anchor down, because it kind of like shows this. You definitely want this. My question here is for you, did you really plan this properly? And are you really sure this makes you happy? Because I really feel that you're going to be blindsided with somebody actually just bailing out on you. And it will be the very somebody who maybe wanted to create something, wanted to kind of like uplift something. Almost like that you have been wooed in by this energy just for this person to kind of like really, almost like that revolving door, just to say goodbye the moment when you said hello. But that also could be very much you. So let's see the direction where this is going. Look at this, the moon. and Prince of Pentacles and gift. Now, there will be immense amount of confusion and mixing friendship with romance. Trying to figure out, you will definitely receive the gift, and you're going to feel really guilty about it. Prince of Pentacles is to me always a friend zone, right? Always, look, he's also crossing his arms. He has this like sultry kind of like look, and it's also kind of like very, very sexual. It's somebody who is trying to set their mind of something and accomplish, but he kind of like feels maybe reinventing some old kind of like goals, because the moon is all about these perceptions. The moon is all about how we are seen by the other people, and also how other people really see us. You see, it's kind of like we have like these two fishes chasing each other tails over here, right? So it's kind of like personify the Pisces, right? So like the moon, Pisces is also able to see in the darkness, right? So we're talking about emotional life and the hidden currents of the psyche, clairvoyance, but there are also inexplicable urges, right? So Pisces like is really like water to the fish, kind of like it's very much something that it can kind of like make you kind of like wiggle around and navigate in a kind of like different way. So I don't know, like we're talking about a mystic or a teacher, or kind of like really going down, which I can see that there is like this huge watery kind of like essence this entire month, right? So I really think that maybe you're trying to be all things to all people, given that you have all these options. You're trying to have like one bird in hand, and I really don't think this is the best strategy, right? Because there is like certain thing that here is talking to me, that is telling me to kind of like really mention lunar, because this is Luna. Lunar sea also has some mental connection, not necessarily lunacy, which kind of like we're talking about, but sort of like there is like the feminine quality in all of this, not masculine. And so we have this kind of like women perceived as more being at home in the realm of emotions, and this really sounds like music to you. So I don't know, guys, it could be things about children, it could be about something hidden, maybe hidden currents, it could be certain things that are kind of like perceived differently. But I don't know, moon also signals menopause, and I don't know, like it's a wild shot, I'm just telling it over there, but there is like something that is kind of like coming to the surface that for some reason it's going to intrigue you very much, but it's also going to make you wonder if somebody is really your friend. Well, maybe you have a friend who actually wants to have more, or vice versa, and it's kind of like tapping in the dark, trying to figure out who feels what over here. So that's kind of going to be a very interesting energy over here. So Two of Chalices, where is this couplehood going? There is Prince of Swords reversed. That can be Aquarian energy, but Prince of Swords also, this is Aquarian energy now as well, a change, and of course Aquarius is change. This also is a card of exquisite healing. You know, like we have this lotus, look at, she has a crown chakra, one of very few cards that has this crown chakra affected over there. Here we have this little Merkaba. So there is like your twin flame over here. There is like some change that you have affected with basically stating what you want. It looks like you Scorpios, you want domestic life, you want your home, because like these pentacles, these pentacles keep coming through it, and you're almost like fighting for them. So they're like the thoughts and words and exchanges, and you are trying this nicely. You're trying to reason, you're trying to balance, and if it doesn't work nicely, you're kind of like trying to gather more information. The Prince of Swords has kind of like that feeling when you kind of like go, you know, like, I mean, checking somebody's Facebook, checking somebody's stuff to really kind of like figure out, like, kind of like more information about them. And this Safi really messed up this card. I know it is over here, but this change card is a move. And I had this kind of like feeling over here, whether you are moving in towards somebody, you are not going to do it recklessly. You're kind of like trying to figure out what can be done in that situation. You're going to kind of like really check all these aspects of that. So you are definitely going to close on someone here. Someone is going to shut one door down, but the other one is wide open, and that wide open door you're not going to like too much, because they're like all this kind of prickly stiff stuff there, and tapping in the dark and being like a little bit jealous and all confused. And you guys are jealous, and I'm sorry, you can tell me all you want, you're not, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get 1,000,001 comments down there. No, I'm not jealous. Okay, you know what, talk to the hand kind of a thing. But jealousy is that emotion of insecurity only because certain things are not being talked over, and that, I think, is the card that provokes jealousy. So of course you could kind of have the Gemini, you can have Aries, you can have the Pisces, you can have Sagittarius energy, some of the energies that are really coming through, Aquarius energy that are coming through very strongly. But I really think that you are mostly jealous of what you want to achieve, and you're really pushing through, because your sign and I think Taurus is kind of like really forecasted to kind of like shack up this year. And shacking up it is. This is kind of like a really mixed message, I do have to tell you. So you have the Strength card. So very much like in this card, look at this. She has, mind you, this is 11 in this deck. You see this? She has this cobra right here on her crown chakra. And I keep getting this crown chakra. I keep getting that. He had that snake over here, which is, oh, Scorpio. She is naked. She's kind of like doing these things. You know what? I am not ashamed of who I am, where I'm going. The snake to me is kind of like suggestive of Kundalini awakening, of something that is going to penetrate, where I think this lion is not just painted on a t-shirt, but it's sort of like encompassing her solar plexus over there. It's like this huge strength that's going to emanate from you. And it is based on something that probably left you kind of like really devastated. You are actually winning, but you're not winning against some other person. You're winning against yourself. It says the poverty. It doesn't have to be physical poverty, because both of these cards are almost identical. Look at this, trying to pick up the pieces, trying to kind of like move forward, almost like in different decks, in different eras, they're kind of telling me the same thing. So no matter what bogged you down, no matter what you had to tuck away, no matter what you have lost, no matter the fact that there was no balance of the probabilities, you're right now able to be in this position of having this master healing, the energy of 11, and kind of like produce your own karma, because this is falling in the karmic category. The Strength is also the card of protection and the card of commitment. So you guys are actually materializing something extremely important. You guys are making a choice, and that choice is not going to be easy. The choice is going to be really hard, because you have this despair, and it almost like looks like you're feeling really torn about it, because something you really don't want kind of like to put down or hurt, where the other things you kind of like really want to go toward. So that's usually what happens when you have two people. Then with two people, you know, you have to let somebody go. So you're like probably going to be the next feature of The Bachelorette or The Bachelor, where, you know, you have to give only one final rose. So, you know, this gift card, I have seen this in the movie, and I don't remember which one. Shall We Dance? I believe the Japanese version. Japanese give a gift to a partner when they're leaving them. Ever since I've seen this movie, or since I was a very little, I actually started to do that. And I give a gift to people who I am letting go of. It's sort of like to soothe them. Of course, the modern version for the rich people, not me, is, hey, here is like your severance package, right, at work. Or another thing is, you know, you kind of like pay your mate or something, kind of like the split. So I have a feeling that something like this is going to take place, not necessarily monetarily, but it could be monetarily, because this one is reversed, the Prince of Pentacles, where somebody was really expecting more and you are not giving that more to this person. And I pulled one more card for you to kind of like seal this reading. But guys, you can actually get a private reading with me and just check me at cattarot.ca. But for now, let's check what we see here. And that's why it is. Loyal Heart. You guys are trying to be really, really up to this occasion. And this is like really commendable. And look at what the lovely card is. So let me read this to you. It says, it is scary to be truly intimate with someone, to allow him or her to see all of you, especially the parts that you have kept hidden and protected. Just like in this card, right? Now it is the time to take that risk and let yourself be seen, and truly seen. It is important that you speak up, voice what you need, state who you are, say what you hope for. This is not a time to play it safe, but to take a leap of faith. You'll be glad you did. If you're seeking a relationship, this is absolutely paramount. Take one step toward the gods, and they will deliver what you truly desire. Guys, I'm speechless. I really hope that every little bit comes to you. You are above the board. You are treating everybody with fairness. You're calling in your soulmate, and you are kind of overcoming some basic desires of what you have been molded into to believe creates happiness, and you're actually creating a completely new story, even though the story means going through the dark and muddy places, which to me as an Aquarius would be, I would be scared shitless. But for you guys, you are like saying bring it on, and that comes with results, comes with this hope, comes with opening. So I want an invite when you receive your proposal. I definitely want to hear about that. So my dear Scorpio, you know that I love you, and I can't wait to hear from you. And if you guys haven't subscribed and you're still here, please just click over here on this button, and you'll be invited to the live broadcasts and get notes from me. Thank you so much, guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful, loving month with your twin flame. All the best. I love you. Testing, testing.